Hey everyone, Ben here, and this week I have been so close to quitting. Let me open this video with a tale of woe and misery from Mount Panorama. We're straight into the action here in my first race of the week. We've qualified in P11 and we're climbing the mountain for the first time. I'm in hot pursuit of Connor Davies up ahead, and everything so far is working out to plan. We've dropped back a few tenths of a second as we get to Skyline, but I'm not too worried about that. I'd like a bit of space to be able to react to what's going on up ahead. As we come down the hill for the first time, there's a big shunt and our race is over, along with several other drivers. What on earth happened there? Well, this Mercedes pushing too hard at the top of the mountain then had a nightmare as he failed to hold his brakes and then careered across the track, collecting several of the drivers, myself included. Not a good start to the week. However, I had to come back for another go. So sometime later, this is race 2. We've actually qualified in P5 for this one. And now I'm following in hot pursuit of Ted Keep up the mountain for the first time. Again, the priority on this opening lap is not to push to the maximum. It's to keep things nice and clean and safe and just settle into a bit of a rhythm. Unfortunately, Ted Keep clipped the inside wall there. I've got nowhere to go as I'm coming up behind him at 170 kilometers an hour and we get squeezed to the wall. And as you can see already, the car is undrivable and we have a spectacular spin out into the gravel. Now, did I really have time to react? I could have gone to the rear of his car as I saw him pointing back across towards the left, but honestly, there's just no space and no time to react really at Mount Panorama, and that was another race ruined. So we came back for a third attempt, and I was really determined that this one was going to work out. We've fallen down the splits, but as it happens, we've landed in a really quick field of cars. I set a time just under the 2:07 mark, and I would actually thought that would have been enough to get myself into the top 10 here. It isn't, so it's going to be very, very competitive. But will any of it matter? Will I actually get through a racing lap here at Bathurst? Well, we're about to find out. Eyes forward as we round the final corner, and there's already nonsense off to my right hand side. Drivers in the wall. It's getting earlier and earlier and earlier that these smashes happen. It's just extraordinary. As we barrel down into T1, I've managed to get through cleanly. There's more contact. Drivers off to the left, off to the right as well. I've surely made up some positions there. We will find out when the standings update at the end of this opening lap. For now, I'm just relieved I've been able to take those corners in one piece. And now I'm looking up ahead and praying that we're equally lucky as we climb the mountain, and maybe, just maybe, this time around I'll complete a racing lap. I'm right on the rear wing here of Shane Martin up ahead, really closing in, but I'm just going to give him a little bit of space as we enter the cutting for the first time. You can see everybody just dabbing the brakes through here. Remember, we're on cold tyres and there is zero room for error. We've seen that in the first two races of the week here. I've got a little bit of a gap to the drivers behind, so I know I've got a little bit of a buffer to just take things slightly easy here. So again, Shane Martin has opened up the gap ahead. I'm not too worried about that. I've got confidence that over time I'll be able to reel that back in. I just want to give myself the best chance of avoiding any more chaos as we come through the dipper, down the hill, and ready to get through to the final sector of this lap. Thankfully, everybody, it seems, has gotten through there cleanly this time around. The track snaking left and right, and then a very tricky braking zone here as Shane Martin very nearly runs into the rear wing of Luca Lambrecht there up ahead in P9. He managed to avoid it. We're now barreling down the back straight here, getting ready for the final couple of corners of the lap, trying to maintain the slipstream here, and it does look as if, touch wood, we're going to get through this first racing lap of the week, and I think I should be up into the top 10. You can see Martin shaping for a move there on the Porsche up ahead. He thinks better of it this first lap round. He's prioritising getting a clean lap under his belt as well, and it does look as if now we're going to be up for a great battle for the top 10 positions here as we get into the final corner, down into second gear, hook up that apex quite nicely there, and we're going to find out that we're in P8. Not a bad result. But wow, there was just so much carnage here, and it's all really because P2 on the grid, Ferro, does get the start wrong. He ends up having to slow down. It's a concertina effect then for the drivers behind him. And then quite incredibly, this Porsche driver takes it upon himself to get out onto the grass to make some passes on the start-finish straight, and unsurprisingly then, he careers into T1 and takes out several more drivers. Unbelievable. I just cannot understand that decision making. But anyway, we're back in the cockpit now, we're on to lap 2, and I'm following Shane Martin still very closely up ahead, and I'm going to just try and pressure him into a mistake as he cuts across there into the cutting. Very nearly ran into the back of his car there. Thankfully we didn't, and we're going to fast forward now to the end of lap 2 as we're still piling the pressure on the cars up ahead. It does then look as if Rob Shorey up in 5th place is a little bit further ahead. We've got one driver though taking to pit lane. I wonder who that is and why they're having to take to the pits. Well, it looks as if it's Ferro again, and this is all because late on lap 1 he hits the wall as he comes down the mountain. That must have given him wheel damage and eventually had to pit under the meatball flag. So that's put me up into P7 as we rejoin the live action on lap 4. And look up ahead, Shane Martin is absolutely all over the rear wing of Lambrecht up ahead, and he's going to be making a move here, surely. Look at the TV camera, he's practically pushing him down the straight there. He's peeled to the inside, he's going to try it around the outside here into the penultimate section of corners on this lap, and he's got the move done. He carries more momentum around that outside line, and he is clean past the Porsche driver there and up into P5. Will that present me with an opportunity to likewise get past Lambrecht? Well, we're going to find out as we get into the last corner there. We have closed right up onto the Porsche's rear wing here, just 0.2 seconds behind. I do shape to the inside to just try and wage psychological warfare, but unfortunately he wasn't having any of it. So we fast forward onto lap 5. Once again, we're coming down the mountain. This is around half race distance here, and I'm within the slipstream of Lambrecht up ahead, probably not close enough to get all the way alongside into the final set of corners here, but I've just got to try and stay in touch, keep maintaining this pressure, and hope that he makes a mistake and opens up the opportunity for me to get up into the top 6 here. Heavy on the brakes then, into the left-right section, and look at that, Lambrecht has made a mistake. He's out onto the curb there. That's going to slow him down on exit. We are going to be alongside, but on the outside into the final corner. Very tricky turn this, to go too wide. We've managed to get round safely, and we carry the momentum on the exit of the corner. We're up into P6. However, he is going to be tucked right in my slipstream on this first straight of the next lap. Look at the TV camera from his on board. He is tucked right underneath my rear wing here. There isn't even a 1/10 of a second between us. He's going to be benefiting from the slipstream as we go over the hill here and get ready to climb the mountain once again. He's peeled to the inside. I can't cut him off here, and I'm just going to have to rely on being later on the brakes. We're braver. We managed to hold the position, and I'm up into P6. I was then able to break clear of the drivers behind us. Andonen would end up putting a challenge on Lambrecht and would actually get past and up into P7. And because then Lambrecht wasn't going to let that go, this battle continued into the next lap, and that gave me some crucial breathing space to just build a gap to the two drivers behind. And in the end, it was enough to secure for me P6 on track. Look at this fantastic side-by-side action, but all the while it's slowing those two drivers down, allowing me to break clear. And as we got onto the final lap and came round the final bend, I got some extra good news. Schmidt, who had led this race pretty well the full distance, suffered a disconnection, and I managed to grab 5th position. Not really a deserved 5th position. I think 6th position was more on merit, but we will absolutely take it after that rotten luck we had in the first 2 races of the week. So in the end, this was an enjoyable race session, but wow, some of the judgment I've seen on track this week has just been unbelievable. I hope you've enjoyed watching my trials and tribulations at Mount Panorama. If you have, leave a like, get subscribed, and I'll see you on the next one.